So, art. We see art at many different parts of our lives, and it's a really important aspect as well. It affects us in many ways, and we're exposed to many different forms of it, like street art, architecture, design, movies, performances, concerts, many different forms and so on. So these arts affect us in many ways as well. We're not aware of it and we're like subconsciously affected, but they affect us in like many ways and leave impacts on us. So if I were to give a few examples, maybe when you go to a museum, you're walking around and you just see a painting that just affects you so well, that captivates you, that you just subconsciously move towards it. Or maybe you're watching a movie in a cinema and then you just come out of the movie thinking, what did I just watch? Like, you just can't process what you saw and you're affected by it. Or maybe on the radio you hear a song which lyrics that resonated with you, you can relate to, and you just want to listen to the song again or keep thinking about it. Or maybe you read a book with quotations that affected you a lot and you just can't stop thinking about the book. You tell it to everyone like, oh, I read this yesterday. Or you just keep quoting it many different ways. So today I wanted to connect this art with a little bit of neuroscience with these four main topics which we are exposed to the most, which is music, movies, shows, books, and video games. I'll be talking about the transforming aspect and a little bit of neuroscience. So, first up, music. Music is just everywhere in our lives, and if I had to personally talk about it, I listen to music all day, every day, everything I do. Even while thinking about this TED Talk, I just put on some music in the back to inspire me. So, to talk about in neuroscience ways, music relaxes us in many ways and calms us down, and it's a really helping coping mechanism for people. And here is our brains, and I'm gonna talk about how different parts of our brains are affected by music. So the frontal lobe is where we think and decide, and it's the most important part of our brains. The optical lobe is where we like process the things we see. The temporal lobe, this is close. The temporal lobe is the place we process the sound. So while we listen to music, we absorb ourselves into the melody, the lyrics, thanks to the temporal lobe. Next up, movies. Movies, we see them everywhere. We go to the cinema, many different places, a lot. And movies help us like experience different perspectives and stories in a first-person view, or maybe help us see stories that we wouldn't normally live through our lives in different lenses. And as well, because of that, we're able to gain new perspective about many different things in our lives. And also has a calming effect as well, like music, books. Books are generally, of course, a good thing. Like, reading is good, it's good. But if I had to talk about how they transform us, it's just like movies. Books are about many different topics that we live or not live through, we see, and they tell many different stories which we put ourselves in the places of the main characters, and we can experience new things, gain new perspectives, see new worlds. And lastly, video games. It's controversial in the world whether video games are considered art or not, but I consider video games to be a mix of many different arts. The music, drawings, visuals, storytelling. It's just a mix of multiple art forms. And like books and movies, we see many different worlds in games, but we experience them firsthand. We build up the world, we continue the game. We're the people deciding what we do. So it has much more of an impact on our brains since we're empathizing with the characters and the storyline more since we're doing it. So how does art affect and transform us? Like I said, these many different forms, we just encounter them, we live them, and this transforms us. These examples that I have just showed above, all of these, I asked my family, my friends to give me music, books, movies, games that transform them throughout their lives from childhood to whatever age. I ask them what transformed them, and as you can see, there's many different varieties, and all these varieties just show how a person is. The art that we see, the art that affects us, builds our personalities, our character, and changes us, tell a lot about a person. So, what I'm trying to say is, every single art form we've seen in our lives subconsciously affect our brains and trigger many parts of our brains and create the us that we are now. All these art transform us and create who we are. Thank you.